Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another Sims Info and Thoughts video. So I did do another one earlier today at around 5 a.m. and it was all about this leak of an icon for Game Pack 9. And I did have some theories as to what it could be, where it could be about space travel, astronomy, maybe even some sort of odd deep dive into painting, even though we already have painting in the game. But there is one other theory that's been circulating a lot since making that video that I wanted to talk about, especially since I am a huge fan of that particular franchise as well, and that this game pack could be a crossover with Star Wars. And thanks to Milo on Twitter, we do have an HD recreation of the logo that just looks a lot clearer than what we saw on the Sims website. And it does look a lot more clear to me that there are buildings, and I'm still holding to my theory that there are some kind of planets or moons with those 3 circles. But what does this have to do with Star Wars specifically? Well, even as a big Star Wars fan, I was confused because I know people were trying to tell me, oh, well, Tatooine, right? But it only has 2 suns, not 3. So I wasn't sure what else it could be. Plus, it seems like if it were a Star Wars base pack, it would make a lot more sense to have something immediately recognizable. Like with the Parenthood icon, it's a family. It's pretty plain and simple. So for a Star Wars pack, I think it would have made the most sense to use Darth Vader's helmet, or even use a combined version of the Rebel Alliance and Empire logos. But there is one planet that I had not considered because, admittedly, I do not know much about it because I've never been to Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland. When I did go there last year, I think it was a month or 2 before it was officially open to the public. But yeah, Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland has this story that is based around a planet in the Outer Rim territory called Batuu, and it has this storyline that takes place between The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. And, well, this planet has 3 suns, not just 2. And when you take a look at this picture, with the architecture, it does remind me quite a bit of what we can see in this leaked icon. So if they were to make a game pack revolving around Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland, then I can see why they would go with such an odd sort of logo that I don't think even really fits in with the other game pack icons so far. Because if it's about Galaxy's Edge, might as well make the logo related to that. Even though, I don't know, I think I would still maybe try and choose something a little bit more iconic, but this would take place in the sequel era, and Darth Vader has long passed away, so it wouldn't really make as much sense story-wise to use Darth Vader's helmet to represent the pack. Sure, there is the idea of just simply using the logo that straight up says Star Wars, but I don't think that would fit into the circle icons that they do with The Sims 4. And let's say if this game pack was to be something besides Star Wars, I think it would end up being something that does fit in better with the other game pack icons and is a lot more distinct and stands out. Like, say if it was a farming game pack, I think they would use a barn or a farm animal like a cow or a sheep or even a llama. That'd be really cool. I've wanted to see actual llamas in The Sims for a long time now, and what better year to do that for The Sims' 20th anniversary. Even if this pack were a more general space theme that could expand on aliens or be about astronomy, the icon I think would still be pretty simple. It would be something like a comet or a telescope. But nope, we have this much more complicated looking thing instead that I think is probably a couple of buildings and the 3 suns, or it could just be one building and a mountain nearby it. But I think with having a branded logo being more complicated in nature and a bit odd and stands out in a strange way, I think that does fall more in line with things, especially considering how last year we had Moschino stuff, and it has that, like, chain-linked M that also stands out, in my opinion, in a strange way. So I am thinking more and more that even if it's not Star Wars somehow, it is going to be a branded game pack, and I don't feel good about that. At least with a branded stuff pack, it's like, okay, I feel like they've really gone downhill since The Sims 3, but at least they're just stuff packs. They're not really game-changing, super impactful packs. So it's like, okay, well, at least we still have the expansion packs, or The Sims 4's case, the game packs. But if this game pack turns out to be an absolute flop, then we might not get another game pack for another year, because it's taken about a year since Realm of Magic to get this one. And actually, now that I think about it, it would make even more sense if this game pack that we're going to get pretty soon probably is a brand one, because with the stuff packs, we got my first pet stuff, and then a year and a half later, that's when we got Moschino stuff. So even though maybe part of that reason with a huge gap was because of the backlash of my first pet stuff, I do think that a big part of that was also just hammering out the deal with Moschino and figuring out what items they're gonna put in and what sort of items they were gonna do with the real-life collaboration too. So it would make sense that doing a Star Wars game pack would take longer than normal to, like, hammer out all those details, and it would not be the first time that we'd be getting Star Wars content in The Sims 4 either, because through 2 separate updates, we got some free Star Wars costumes. And in a free update just before the holidays last year, we got a statue of the child, otherwise known as Baby Yoda, from the Mandalorian series on Disney+. So maybe that statue also could have worked as a hint, but I think they could have also just done it purely to kind of draw a bit more attention to The Sims, because the child was taking off in popularity back then. Oh, and I just realized, maybe just like with Moschino, they would have a crossover in real life as well, where you have maybe have the Grim Reaper having a lightsaber duel with the Freezer Bunny and other sort of cute Star Wars X The Sims franchise stuff. Oh boy, that might potentially be hard for me to resist if that ends up happening too. But even still, it probably would take a long time to hammer out the details if they are working with something that's in relation to not just Star Wars, but Disney in general, with a Disneyland theme park, because I think this is the only way a Star Wars game pack could really work out that well, because as big as a Star Wars fan I am, I would not really be into the idea of merging the Star Wars universe into the Sims universe, where all of a sudden it's just one fine day and then, the Death Star is above Windenburg! Oh no! It's time to recycle the club's feature from Get Together and gather an alliance of rebels and shoot down the Death Star. Or, oh no, you're just walking down the streets of Evergreen Harbor and Darth Vader is there! You gotta learn to use the Force and defeat him in a lightsaber duel. Like, that would just be ridiculous. I mean, I wouldn't mind lightsaber duel gameplay, but yeah, I think that would just be so far removed from just the essence of The Sims and just trying to force another universe into it. It would just, yeah, that potentially could, I think, even top Sweet Treats and just pure cringiness. Like, wow, is this how Katy Perry fans feel with Sweet Treats? Just, oh boy, it's like, I've grown up with the prequel trilogy of Star Wars, so while I wasn't born yet when the original trilogy came out, I have watched all the movies, and I've watched all the Clone Wars animated series, both the 2D and the 3D one. I've read some of the books and have played several of the games, so I'm very heavily invested in Star Wars. So I don't want to see it ruined like this in The Sims. I do want to see the Star Wars brand treated with a lot of respect. And, well, if this does end up coming to pass, then at least I could just try and make the best of it with my knowledge of Star Wars and get all the references and stuff. Maybe they'll put in a few more costumes as well. I guess that would actually be inevitable, and that would be cool if they did manage to even include some stuff from eras outside of the sequel trilogy, because, yeah, surprisingly, we still don't have any costumes of Rey or Kylo Ren, but I would love to see some love for Ahsoka Tano, who is easily one of my favorite Star Wars characters, probably top 3, because, yeah, I definitely love the Clone Wars series, and, well, that actually did have some stuff recently, and there's that Bad Batch arc that is going to be coming out. I can't remember when it's coming out, actually, but yeah, it is going to be based off of the characters in that recent season that came out. And speaking of recent Star Wars stuff, if we are getting a Star Wars game pack, shouldn't that come out last year instead of Realm of Magic? Because even though I love that we finally got Witches back, it's just that last year we were still on that hype train for The Rise of Skywalker. It wasn't out yet. It was like the final movie of this sequel trilogy, a huge deal, but now that's out, and basically we're in this break period. I think they are working on a new Star Wars trilogy, but that won't be out for a long time, so even though there is still stuff to get excited about, like the Bad Batch Star Wars stuff and The Mandalorian, it's not up there with the hype of full-on movie trilogies, so it does seem a little baffling to me that they would do this now, because they could have just hammered out all the details a couple of years ago and then put it out last year. But like I said in the previous video, I am worried about backlash, and that was just if it was a general space theme. But if it was a Star Wars theme, I think that would be the backlash against Eco Lifestyle's initial announcement times 100. I mean, when we got those free Star Wars costumes, people were really angry over that. I think the only thing Star Wars related that people did not get angry about was the child statue, because, you know, who doesn't love the child in The Mandalorian? It's just, yeah, it's cool. It's very cute, made for some really great moments. You gotta love the child. But yeah, I think it is going to get a lot of backlash. Though, if it was a theme park sort of game pack, which I have wanted for a while, I think there could be some potential, even if it was just rooted in the Star Wars brand. It wouldn't be quite what I would be thinking of, but maybe it could still be fun, and especially for Star Wars fans like me, it could still have some value. It's just, I don't think the timing of this is very good. I would love to see something that is more integrated with the core gameplay, because it would be really cool if, say, we got a band's game pack. That's something that I speculated for a while. That would still fall under the category of being a major first for The Sims, even though I guess a full-on Star Wars pack can still fall under that regardless of the fact that we have Star Wars content in The Sims. And that wraps up another Sims Info and Thoughts video, so feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think this game pack is really going to be a Star Wars crossover? And do you think it's going to be about the Galaxy's Edge theme park? And be sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with my latest content from The Sims, Paralive, Sonic the Hedgehog, and more. So I'll talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!